Welcome to the debauchery. We have such sights to show you.
Here's Johnny.
All you have left is my desire for you.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? Welcome back to another episode of Fright Flick Fuck Marry Kill. I'm Jay.
And I'm John.
Damn right, we are back another week. Hey, last week we had the sister-in-law on here talking about. Hey, we keep it in the family around here.
No, dude, it was. I remember when we first started talking about this, and you know, because when we did the first test run of let's do a trilogy and actually do an official FMK with August Underground. If you guys haven't checked that out, please do. And then when we started talking about doing this, and then we were like, oh, you know, let's bring more people in. And then, of course, like literally Cannibal for Rocks, which y'all put out last week. It's like one of Joe's like top 5 horrors of all time. She adores that movie. So yeah, dude, she was nervous, but yeah, everybody was agreed. I told her, I was like, Joe, you realize that like everyone remembers you when we podcast for laughing at the awful shit I say. Like that's what everyone missed. And she was like, I was like, all you got to do is just go on there, be yourself, and make sure to laugh. And everyone who missed you will miss you, and everyone who didn't miss you will not miss you.
Yeah, because I you know, I'm in a group with some of the criminal AF people, and some of those, the criminal AF people were also some of the Spread the Dread people. So I hit them up.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a special guest coming this week, and my only thing I gave them was I said you will recognize the laugh.
They had to have known immediately who you were talking about.
They knew.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah, Joe's going to be on the show. And so even when when me and Joe, before we got ready to record, she was kind of like, it's been a while for me. I was like, hey, don't even worry about it. We just jump over here and push play.
Yep.
Record shit.
Yep. Just record. Yeah. We press record and hope they'll hit play when we post it up. That's about it.
Yeah. I hit record with hopes and prayers that you all hit play and listen long enough to give us credit for listening. Yeah. What is the time? Is it like 7 or 8 minutes that we have to do?
I honestly don't know, because I would love to. I wish YouTube would actually like tell you like, hey, you actually had this many people start playing your video, but this many people didn't make it past the minute. I would love to know those numbers.
Yeah, I would like to know the ones that push play and then it was like 2 or 3 minutes into listening.
It was like, nah.
And be like, oh, this fucker ain't for me.
Yeah, these aren't my people.
But because of I would like to know that number. But so I don't know if there's like a minute wise where it's like you listen to it and YouTube gives me credit. Because if you make it to that point and I get credit for it, hey, I appreciate it. If I feel sure there's some of you little soft fuckers out there, as soon as I say what's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers, you automatically whoa.
Yeah. Cancel it. I'll watch horror movies, but if someone swears,
you said the fuck word, and damn it, I can't listen to that. And so I'm curious at those numbers, but
but that was an awesome episode. She had a blast doing it. Yeah. A lot of it was received very well. Everybody who enjoyed having Joe back doing these, I promise you it will happen again on another trilogy, because we're loving doing this. Because we're doing Jungle Holocaust. Obviously, everybody who clicked on it. Who is it that you're doing Cannibal Holocaust with?
I'm doing it with Jamie. Jamie, who has been on the show 2 or 3 times already.
Yeah.
So she is going to be doing next week's episode, Cannibal Holocaust. And so she is stoked, because when I hit her up and I was like, hey, here's the plan. And I gave her the titles. And she was like so super excited that she gets to do Cannibal Holocaust, because it's like one of hers, like, I get to do one of the greatest, like, one of those titles that just jumps out the people and they recognize it, So she was super excited for that. So next week me and her will be recording Ooh,
There we go.
boy.
There we go.
Let me take another sip right there.
Yeah, I was fixing to say I think you haven't had the right amount of Gentleman Jack yet.
No,
honestly.
I had to like really think about that shit. And I don't
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's you got to get some more lube in you. Get the juices going.
Yeah, I don't like to think on here, people. I just like to send it.
No, and I was glad to be able to do Jungle Holocaust because everyone obviously you can see behind me, I collect physical, but there's all three of them, and this is the one we're talking about. This is from CodeRedDVD.com. I don't think they exist anymore. Actually, when we were talking about doing this, because I own this and like so many other shits I own, because I have almost 1,000 movies in my collection currently. I get stuff on a good deal, and when I can find it, especially if it's hard to find, and sometimes it just gets put up there and I don't get to it. And this was one of them, so I was glad I got to do this. But I was trying to find some other stuff that Code Red DVD put out, and the website is no longer there, and so I don't know. But yeah, and then of course, obviously, like we did with August Underground, episode 4 of this, the week after Cannibal Holocaust, will be all of us back. So they actually, you guys, everybody who liked Joe last week, she's going to be on the wrap-up episode where we actually give, we rank each one as which one we would fuck, marry, or kill. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I love doing it, and I'm excited to talk about Jungle Holocaust. And it was nice to finally be able to say, okay, I have seen it, because it's.
Do you own Jungle Holocaust?
Yeah, that was the one I just held up.
Oh yeah, shit. I was.
Yeah.
Hey, I was having to do some work, text message then, so I missed that part when you held it up. So
no, and then I have my Shameless release. I love this one with the yellow Blu-ray case of Cannibal Holocaust, and then of course this, because me and Joe love each other. This was it was either I think it was a birthday present to her, because that was when I was almost going to buy Cannibal Holocaust. I thought that was the movie she liked, and that's when I had seen the Shameless version. Was able to pick her brain before it came up and found out that no, in fact, it was Cannibal for Rocks that was her favorite. And so I got her this collector edition from Grindhouse of that one. And I had seen Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust, but I had not yet watched Jungle Holocaust. So, and it's, like I said, they're not a trilogy, but they're so intertwined with the history of Ruggero Deodato and Umberto Lenzi, who did Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust.
Now, I don't know if you listened to last week's episode or not.
Oh, of course.
Okay, we're gonna knock this. We're gonna go ahead and handle this right now. Last week when me and Chris did the show, we went over the proper way to say the name of the movie
of Cannibal. Well, okay, I don't want to say the last word because I know the way it's supposed to be done. I also know the way it was said a lot in last week's episode.
On this show, people, in this shit show, Cannibal, Spirit Fank, Cannibal, Farah.
You can feel the energy off of it.
Hey, dude, hey, that shit, that shit feels good. Like, Farah.
Yep,
so, hey,
always got to do that.
Yeah, to say, so I was wondering, like, so when I asked you, I couldn't remember. I knew, I should remember because last week Chris held up all the movies going to be covered. So, of course, you with your massive collection of, fucking DVDs behind you, as you can see, and I tried to feel excited because, when I hit you up the other week, when I sent you a picture of, I just started collecting like the hard copy.
Physical, yeah.
And so I hit you up like, hey man, I got my new Cannibal Holocaust in the mail. And then you're going to come up and trumpet with your fucking fancy yellow type.
No, well, so if you go by physical fanciness, yes, personally, I love that yellow case. Shameless puts them that way. That's the way they make them.
It's
but feature wise, because you got the more recent one. Oh man, I forget who put it out, but it was only a year or two ago, I believe, when they put out that new, is yours 4K or Blu-ray?
Oh, mine's Blu-ray, man. I'm not.
Okay. I think when they did the version you got, they did a Blu-ray and a 4K version of them. But yeah, that one has it has more extra features on it than the Shameless one, because the Shameless one I got, man, that thing's been out for at least a decade.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's been new stuff they've done since then.
Okay.
But yeah, man.
I'm looking forward to checking because, like I said, next week's episode, Cannibal Holocaust, me and Jamie. I haven't watched Cannibal Holocaust since because if you've listened to the show before, I'm kind of new into the horror, a lot of the horror stuff, especially
you're starting to get to the point now where you can't say that anymore. You haven't been doing them long, but you have consumed with a gluttonous attitude.
Oh yeah,
massive amounts of horror. Like you were late to the game, but you caught up quick.
Yeah, I dove in, and because when I hit you up, and this once again was one of those titles. I was like, "Hey man, give me something else," and you hit me up, and so I haven't watched Cannibal Holocaust since I originally reached out to you like, "Hey, give me some more stuff." So I'm looking forward to next week's episode also because it's been a while since I've seen it, and so now I get to rewatch it all over again. But for this week's episode, Jungle Holocaust, because I remember speaking to you on last week before this. The person, this all kind of ties together, right? Jungle Holocaust and Cannibal Holocaust.
So, all right. So, yes. So, a little bit of history with it so that everyone kind of knows, because this is why we're doing these three films. August Underground was an official trilogy, so that made sense. We've talked about like maybe doing like the Human Centipede, Hostel. Those things are actual trilogies. This is really not. It's a spiritual trilogy because originally Umberto Lenzi, who did Cannibal Ferox, was attached to direct and helm this movie. For whatever reason, and I'm sure if you dig deep enough, you could find out why he ended up not doing it, and Ruggero Deodato did it. When he did it, it was because it is an Italian movie. This is terribly dubbed, but it's excellent if you like these Italian overdub movies from like the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that. It's fun. But Ultimo Mondo Cannibale, Last Cannibal World was what this was made as. They went back and called it Jungle Holocaust after all of the notoriety when Ruggero Deodato did Cannibal Holocaust. And Umberto Lenzi didn't do Cannibal Ferox until after Cannibal Holocaust. So you technically have Jungle Holocaust, Cannibal Holocaust, and then Cannibal Ferox. But because of two of the biggest cannibal movies of all time from two very well-known in horror Italian directors, they kind of cross paths with Jungle Holocaust. And I think you would agree, especially after watching it, this you can see where this was almost like a test run of ideas before you could see where Cannibal Holocaust came from because of this. You could see Ruggero kind of testing things out in this one. So that's why, yeah, they're definitely mixed. And another thing that I actually, when I was looking up, Gianfranco Clarisi was one of the writers on this. He also wrote Cannibal Holocaust. So he did write that. He also did The House on the Edge of the Park, which, if anyone knows that one, Ruggero Deodato also did that one, but that is like an Italian remake of the Last House on the Left from Wes Craven. So it's just funny how all these people are kind of tied into some really big movies, and that is all the boring shit out of the way. It is interesting, but there's not a lot of jokes and offensive shit we can say about that. So we can move on to the stuff that'll definitely be able to help me be offensive, because of all things, and I told Joe, I was like, we should have made Joe do this one, because as soon as this movie starts up, there's text on the screen where these motherfuckers broke down or crashed or whatever you want to call it with the airplane, because it was like a rough landing, correct? I guess we're getting into it now.
Yeah, it was a they're flying into whatever this island.
So they're going into Mindanao. Mindanao is one of the second largest islands in the Philippines.
Oh shit.
So these are Filipino jungle cannibals that you are watching. This was I believe it was filmed in Mindanao. The Philippines is actually it's crazy if you go through, because this is technically an exploitation movie, it would fall under it. Like of the time, the Philippines, there was a shitload of exploitation movies made in the Philippines because, America used to have that massive army base over there with World War II. So they love the American dollar. It's really cheap to do shit there. So you'd be surprised how many things take place in the Philippines. But this one actually said Mindanao, and I joked with her. I was like, "Oh, your fucking great uncles were up there, fucking you fucking eating people, you fucking cave savages, like and shit
fucking
like that."
Great grandpa was out there eating,
Right.
balls and dick. Damn it.
Yes. But yeah, man. So yeah. I mean, but yeah. So I guess I'll let you take the lead on kind of let's break it down and shit.
Hey, but like I said, this week's episode, Jungle Holocaust. I had never heard of this until you hit me up about us doing the threesome on covering these movies. I had never heard of it. And so I finally got to watch this for the first time yesterday. And before we record this, I've never seen it. And so you hit me up, and I checked it out. And I kind of, once you kind of explained to me earlier that it was kind of the dude's kind of tied to Cannibal Holocaust, whatever, you just went over all that. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, look, here we go. And so this one, last week, Cannibal Farah and Farah, spirit fingers, fuckers, and
jazz hands, motherfucker, jazz hands.
You better jazz ham them up. When you say the name, put some respect on that shit.
Yeah.
And so for this one, Jungle Holocaust, and so this one is going to be, when you hit me up, I'm like, there's only so many ways when it comes to cannibal type movies. There's only so many ideas that people come up with. You can't get super creative with it. And so when this one kind of starts off, you kind of the normal kind of thing, like these people are fly, because I read on was a fucking Wikipedia or some shit, like they were going to look for oil.
They're oil prospectors.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't sure how much. I don't know what Filipino oil runs for. I know what the Kuwaiti shit and the Afghanistan. I know that shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know y'all. I didn't know them. Filipino.
I would love to know that if we, and I can ask Joe after this. I would love to know if there is it well known?
Yeah,
that there's oil reserves and shit, or oil fields or whatever in Mindanao, or something like that. But yeah, that's why they're out there.
Maybe we need to put a bug in Sleepy Joe's ear.
Yeah, there you go. You don't want to if you don't want to do anything with the Middle East, go to the Philippines.
Maybe
clear out the cannibals, and there's oil there apparently.
Maybe they got oil in the Philippines. Damn it! I seen this movie, Joe. I know.
Yeah. If you come across the cave cannibals, you've went too far. Turn around. The oil's the other way.
Yeah. Turn around, Sleepy. They're gonna eat your ass. Come on back.
But no, and I get where you're coming from for this one, and I will preface by saying, if by chance anybody who's watching any of these videos, if you've not seen any of these movies and you're getting into it, for the love of God, watch Jungle Holocaust first.
Yeah, you
have to, if you're going to watch it, because if you watch, otherwise it almost feels like it's ripping off Cannibal Holocaust, but it's not, because it came first and it's the same director and all of that. But there was this complete air, and maybe that's why. I mean, we can go over the plot a little bit, but if you've seen a cannibal movie, I mean, this is basic as it gets, but it's also one of the forerunners of it. But the whole time I'm watching, it felt like I had already seen this. Already seen this. Everything felt like I had already seen it already.
Yeah,
because technically I had, and I had seen it shot by the same director better, because obviously with experience and shit like that on Cannibal Holocaust. So yeah, if anything, or if you're just really interested in horror, definitely go check out Jungle Holocaust, because you'll see where all of the inspiration was starting. You'll see, how it evolved from that to Cannibal Holocaust. But yeah, it's a typical one. They break down the jungle. This time, though, it's not a very large group of people.
Yeah, and I remember when I started watching it, you catch this plane flying into this area, and it's only like 4 of them, a couple guys, the pilot, and a girl.
Yeah,
and
the two guys are the oil prospectors.
Yeah.
What was the girl to them? Did you catch that,
dude? The bitch disappeared so fast. I had no. Yeah. You didn't get a chance to even know who the fuck. I thought maybe it was his daughter or his wife of the pilot. Because I think his name was fucking. I don't even remember.
The pilot was Charlie. The girl was Swan.
Well, Swan. They gave fucks about Swan.
No, yeah.
Because this movie came out in what was it, like 77, 71? It
was 77, 1977.
Okay, 77. Because unless you were barefoot pregnant in the kitchen, they didn't give a fuck about you in the 70s, damn it.
No. As soon as it came up, you were immediately, I was like, all right, well, that pilot's not going to be here that long.
Yeah.
Because he was a local. Like you could tell he was like Filipino, and he was going to help him. So clearly he's going to die very quickly because they're going to need help.
Yep.
And then, that girl, the whole time I was sitting there, I was just like, why is she here? And then suddenly they're like, she's missing. And I was like, where did she go? I think she basically like implied she had to go take a shit or something. Yeah. She was like, I got to, she's like, I got to leave. And they're like, that's not safe. She was like, yeah, but I got to.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, if you got to go far off, you had to go take, hey, we almost died in a plane crash. Big old shit. If you just needed to pee, you could have went to the other side of the tree. So now all of us know you went to take a shit, and now you ain't came back.
But even then, like, y'all just made it through a plane crash in this area that they have realized at this point that the runway area is not so maintained as they thought it should.
There we go. That's what. And see, again, some of the shit I feel like, and I mean, I just watched this today. Yeah. I just watched this earlier today, and there's shit that I'm already forgetting.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting, I was like, I know the plane went down. Then that's right. There was a runway, and when they went down, it was supposed to be a lot more cleared.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a rough landing. It blew off one of the wheels of the tires of the plane and shit like that. And there was debris everywhere. Whoever had been maintaining it, it was clearly emphasized they are missing and are no longer maintaining it.
Yep. So when they hit the ground, like I said, tire falls the fuck off. And then, even then, it's like, I got that part. But back to the deal with the chick. It was like, this plane has crashed. Y'all are in the area, nothing of what's going on at this moment. Damn it. If I had to pee or shit at this point, self-respect is out the window. I would hang my white ass out the side of the window of a plane and have somebody hold my hands so I could take a dump before I step foot out of this plane and go wandering off like she did.
Yeah.
Then when
kudos to her for not, because I would have shit myself when we started fucking up on the landing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The moment the tire blew, complete evac, I would have pissed and shit myself completely. Yep. So kudos to holding on to it, but to hold on to it and then to immediately be like, hey, nobody, I'm going to walk about 100 yards this way.
Yeah.
Nobody bother me. Yeah. You got what you got. You fucked around and found out, Swan.
I didn't feel sorry for her. Once she got out of that plane and kind of wandered off from a distance, I was kind of like, really, bitch? Like, damn it. We're in the middle of nowhere right now. We don't know nothing. And you're going to hop your ass out and just start walking. And then the crazy part was what once again reaffirmed, like, they give 2 fucks about her, because when she screams, all of a sudden Charlie's kind of panicking, because even to this point, I don't know if that's Charlie's wife. Is it his daughter? Is it a good buddy?
It's like on the official thing, synopsis, it's like they literally refer to Swan as a member of the team.
Yeah, well, that just shows you how less.
Yeah. That's
in the 70s. You didn't mean shit. Damn it.
No, and basically they Swan's there because obviously they hear the scream, they start looking, and they find what? They find Swan. They eventually find her.
But the crazy part is they didn't go looking that night. When the shit
that's right.
Down, when the shit went down and she screamed her ass off and gone. Charlie's freaking out. Like, I need to go get her. Fucking the two Americans, of course, were like, hey, it's dark. It's nighttime. It's not safe to go in the jungle. Let's do this shit tomorrow. And I'm just like, and so they don't do shit that night. They wait till the sun's coming up.
Yeah, and they go try to find.
Yeah,
clearly at this point the remains of their team member Swan.
Yeah,
who probably died with everything with her ass completely out, everything around her ankles. Like, what a terrible way to go. Nobody deserves to go that way.
Yeah, nobody decided about you, Swan, whatever your fucking name was.
Yeah, yeah. But so they you know, now it's morning. She's by this point clearly she's dead. Like, we're gonna have to go let's go find the body.
Hey.
And when they go out there, Charlie's kind of telling them, about like some of the shit that's in the area. He's been kind of warning them about the shit in the area. Well, then out of nowhere they trigger a fucking booby trap, and boom, there goes Charlie, exactly as anticipated, with the giant fucking like tree ball of spikes that just swings into him.
I didn't, because before they get to Charlie, the one thing that really kind of bugged me was when they first crash land, they get out because there's supposed to be some people there. There's supposed to be a team of people that are waiting on them. And so when
I would imagine that obviously Charlie knew him because Charlie is like their guy there. So I'm guessing that Charlie was the pilot for these people that they were going to meet up with, probably a crew that was going to take them to sites and shit like that. And they're not there.
No, they're not, because when they get there, they land and they find this like kind of like part of a radio sitting off to the side. Well, the part that really bugged me was as soon as they land, they start getting around looking out. They start looking around. Well, then next thing you know, Robert, who ends up being our main guy, Robert takes off into the fucking jungle. And then I call him Ralphie Boy. That's what we're gonna call him on this show.
Yeah, it's Rolf, ROLF.
Yeah,
but yeah, Ralph. It would be
Ralphie Boy starts chasing him off, and I'm sitting there going, as I'm watching this, I'm going, where the fuck are you going? Like, why are you running into this jungle for what are you even looking for? So you got Robert looking for some shit. Ralphie's looking for Robert.
Well, was that when Robert was trying to find the tire at some point?
Well,
because Charlie said, was that before they found the tire before they ran into the jungle, correct?
No, they found the tire after they ran into the jungle like some idiots.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, that's where you get the first shot of Robert's looking around. They find like this campsite where they're supposed to be at, and nobody's there. Because remember, that's when he finds that little blade that's like man-made. And he talks about this blade because it's got some blood on it. And,
yes, okay.
And so he's talking about this blade, and it's like they run off into the woods. And I'm sitting there going, y'all are doing, and we have not changed since the 70s, people. Us white folk will fucking be nosy as fuck. Even in the 70s, we was putting our nose in some shit where it don't need to be, and we still do that shit to this day.
Yeah. These guys fucked up their plane in the rainforest of Mindanao, and their first thing was like, well, we'll go into the jungle and find the manager because somebody's got to figure this shit out.
Exactly.
This is uncalled for.
Yes.
Like,
that's
like
what they do.
They're like, we're going to go find somebody around here
like Robert,
who can help.
Yeah, in Robert's mind, he's like, there's somebody here that can point us in the right direction.
Yes.
So
somebody's going to answer for this.
Yeah, and then Ralphie Boy's trying to play catch up. They when they come across this little man-made blade and shit, it's got blood on it. Like, no red flags are popping up yet, and they go into Robert's running all over the place for some reason, and I'm going, dude, why are you running into a forest? Into a jungle you know nothing about. And that's where they get the first, like, he comes upon this like big ass snake. And the snake and this iguana it's time to they're going to throw down.
And that's another thing. People, go ahead and be warned, because I know there's some people who just simply cannot take real animal death on screen. Cannibal movies, exploitation films in general, and even current extreme cinema, there's a few people that are notorious for this. In this one, it's not so much like humans killing, although we'll have a scene of that coming up and we'll talk more about it. But there's a lot of like animal fighting and like animal predator prey shit things going on. Like,
they do a lot of that in this movie.
They do. There's more of that, because I mean the scenes that stand out of it in like Cannibal Holocaust and Ferox are because there's like one major scene, and there's, to me, is one major scene in this one involving the crocodile later, or alligator, whatever the fuck it was. But there's a lot more shit going on with animals in this than the other one. So yeah, if you're not a fan of that, you know, there's more to come.
We call those trigger warnings for all you fucking pussies out there.
Yes,
trigger warnings.
Yeah, you know? but I like I said, this is never, and even most cannibal films in general that do this, they're not on the level of someone like a Marion Dora, who did like Angel's Melancholy, Cannibal, and Carcinoma. Like in Angel's Melancholy, like there's literally like animals that are being killed simply for that, and they're not animals that are meant to be eaten. Like every animal that dies, mostly in cannibal movies, you know, most of the time the tribe in there are played by actual locals. They're going to eat the turtle they just killed. Yeah. They're going to, you may not like seeing it, and that's fine, but they're going to, in this movie, they're going to eat the shit they kill and stuff like that. So it's not like animal violence. It is for the sake of shock value back then to show it, but
yeah, and when I watch movies like this and people get all upset about shit, people want to be like, "Oh, they killed this gator." Let me drop your ass out in the middle of the fucking jungle,
fuck a gator,
and you're fucking starving your ass off. Hey, I've ate gator before. It's delicious, people.
Yeah. Like I have went to places specifically because they served gator. Yeah. And paid more than what I would for another type of meat, because it's very good. Hey, I like it.
I'm in the military. I've been deployed. I have ate horse. I have ate dog. I have ate gator. Hey, listen, drop your ass in the middle of the jungle. If you are one of those little animal loving fucks out there, like, I can't believe they killed that gator. Let me drop you off in the middle of this fucking jungle they're at and let you be starving and let alligator walk by you.
Yeah, because you may easily come across an alligator that you can safely cook and eat before you come across a plant that you may recognize and that's not poisonous. There's some shit that looks like edible versions of other shit that if you eat it, it's gonna fuck you up. But guess what? You kill that crocodile and you cook it thoroughly, it ain't gonna fuck you up. You're gonna be fine.
Because there's a part of this movie where our boy Robert, he gets down on some mushrooms.
Yeah.
Finds on a fucking tree stump somewhere. And he just starts, feeding himself to these fucking mushrooms. I'm like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah. And pukes his fucking guts up.
Oh, dude.
Not too long afterwards.
Yeah.
And of course, this is after Charlie's dead. This is also after they finally do find Swan. They find her body. They see her being consumed.
Oh yeah, they handled that better than I would have. Like they were stumbling through the woods, and they see this little tribe of jungle people, and they are feasting on your girl over there. Like
just a bunch of little Joes, hobbled over in the woods, all squatted, eating a human.
Yeah, they're just like and it is like a casual rack of ribs laying there to the side, and they're
it's very obviously obvious that it's human, and then for them, once they kind of zoom into a certain thing, obvious that it's Swan. It's someone they know. Yeah. So and I don't know if that was so much in the script or there's some really fucking bad acting in this, but
Oh,
that's the case in a lot of these movies. But yeah, like their reaction, I'm just like, dude, was that bad directing, or was this just like asking two fucking spoons to emote, and they didn't know how to fucking do it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but yeah, it didn't seem, they were kind of just like, oh dear, no, and then they kind of just like they jogged off, like
they handled it way too. They kind of like staring there and looking at it, and I'm just
that's
like,
because they didn't give a fuck about Swan.
They didn't.
I bet they were even like, dude, did she come with us or did she come with Charlie? Yeah. And I bet Rolf was just like, I just remember her. I think she came with the plane. Like, yeah. I don't think anybody knew who she was.
I smelled her at some point, you know. I don't know what the fuck she's doing.
Charlie was trafficking her. Nobody knew the dark side of what Charlie was doing out in Mindanao. He's like, I'm going to drop these white oil prospectors off. Found this white bitch. I'm going to sell her a good price. Like,
she was just pointless in the movie. She was just there. And then the next thing you know, I'm going to go take a piss and she's gone. She's getting eat. And
you could basically tell they wanted, we want to have a booby trap kill, and then we want them to find someone eating another human so they know there's cannibals. That is basically the entire reason why Charlie and Swan are in this movie. So that they had someone to kill with a jungle booby trap, Charlie, because we don't see him eat Charlie. Charlie just gets hit by the booby trap. And then you have Swan that we get to see, oh shit, they're eating Swan. These are cannibals, and then we're with Robert and Ralph for the rest of the film, and then eventually, obviously, the jungle Holocaust in the name, the cannibals do catch up with them.
And even after they come across they see her, that girl get ate, and they finally decide, hey, now the light bulbs are going off, like we need to get the fuck out of here. They decide now we need to get back to the plane. They're wandering around in the woods, and
again, everybody keep in mind, not to go over top of you, keep in mind they left a runway. Runway has to be very long, and it has to be cleared. It had debris on the ground when they landed, which is why the wheel broke, but we're not talking about trees. They left a clearing where they actually could see for a good bit of distance around them. They left that and wandered into a fucking rainforest. We ain't talking about, like a fucking, woods at your uncle's house who has 10 acres. Bro,
I keep saying woods. But I'm southern as fuck, but this is a fucking rainforest jungle, people.
Dude. Yeah, this is where you go. Like you don't make it out of here if you're not from there, dude. Like it's locals only.
Yeah, like I can't understand why they left that area. And so
and then of course they finally were like, shit, why did we leave that area? And they're like, let's find that area again.
We need to get back to the plane now. And I'm just kind of like, really? Now you decide we need to get back to the plane, that big open area where you landed, where you could sit in the plane and view what was coming at you. No. And so in this part, they're coming back. They're trying to find their way out of this little shit show they've got themselves into. And the one part is they're walking back, and old fucking Robert stumbles kind of like down a hill and kind of falls into this river. And they decide, and this is where it went kind of A-Team on us. Like I was expecting the A-Team music to start playing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I love it when the band comes together because Robert and Ralphie Boy are going to make themselves a little raft. They start taking their little machete. They're chopping up some little.
And just like if anyone's seen any of these other Italian movies, the soundtrack to these movies is one of the best things about these movies.
Yes.
The amount of hope that was in the music that was playing while they were building this raft. But then there's scenes where the music sounds chipper and there's people getting eaten. Like whoever was like over sounded this movie was a fucking schizophrenic, dude. Yeah. And but again, if you've seen Cannibal Holocaust, you know what I'm talking about, and it is very present in Jungle Holocaust. And there was so many times I erupted in laughter solely because the music would cue up and something was horrible was happening on screen, and I literally laughed out loud at least twice I can fucking remember. And
Yep.
I'm like, that scene had no impact on me because it was hilarious because of the music.
Yeah, same way. Like the whole time I'm watching it, I'm listening, I'm catching on to the music that is playing. And
Yes.
when they're building this little raft to go down the river, this music is playing to where it makes you feel hope inside.
Yeah, they're gonna make it. They're gonna get out.
There's a part of you on the inside that thinks, Robert and Ralphie boy are gonna be okay.
Yeah.
And
they finally understand what's going on. They've got the breadth of the situation. Yep. Now their survival instincts have kicked in, and they did, but it was way too fucking little too late.
Oh, yeah, too late, baby. Because once they hit the river, they start strolling down this little slow ass fucking little like normal rainforest river that we've seen in a ton of movies. And then they come across the fucking the rapids.
Yeah.
And as soon as them rapids seen, I was like, if this fucking man-made piece of shit float makes it through this, I'm gonna turn the movie off right fucking now.
Yeah, and it was assembled by two people who left a clearing with a broken down plane. Yep. This is going to be one of the only, that's the other thing to think about too. Search and rescue is going to be above in a rainforest.
Yep.
And they call it a canopy because it's literally like an umbrella that fucking covers. You can't see down through the trees. So one of the only clearings from above for probably miles around, they left that. Yep. So you have to sit there and be like, yeah, dude, if they were stupid enough to do that, but were smart enough to MacGyver a fucking raft in Mindanao rainforest that survives like, category 5 fucking rapids, like river wild shit. Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, I was willing to stop if that fucking little raft would have made it down the rapids, Right. And so when of course it doesn't, the rapids get too hard. Next thing you know, Ralphie boy falls off, Robert's off, and then Robert makes it up to the bank where he can't find Ralphie boy. We're just assuming Ralphie boy is gone at this point. Ralphie boy is now belongs to the river.
Yep.
So now it's just our boy Robert.
Yeah, and we spend most of the movie with just Robert.
Robert.
Yeah, played by Massimo Foschi, whatever.
And after he comes out of the river is the part where he is starving and he comes across the little mushrooms we
go
about, and he gets sick as a dog.
Yeah.
Next morning, Robert's going to get woken up by a little poke of a little stick.
Yep.
Guess what, Robert?
Yeah.
Fucking retard. You should press at the plane.
Yes. None of this. There is nothing to indicate that anything would have happened to any of them if they left the plane.
Yep.
Literally, the further they got from the plane, the worst shit got. They never once fled a problem. They left the best case scenario and just kept walking into worse and worse situations. And Robert woke up to a really fucking bad one.
Yeah. At this point, Robert gets woken up by the locals, I call them. Yes. The jungle folk, the locals are poking him with a stick and he wakes up. And then I am, in my notes, I even put this, like as soon as I would have woken up to that, my life was about to end because I wasn't going to prolong anything. I was going to start screaming like a scared little bitch.
Yeah.
And I was going to start attacking. They were going to have to kill me in that moment.
Yeah. At worst case, I was going to make them kill me quick.
Yes. Because you just seen the day before what they did to your girl. And all she went to do was take a piss. And they fucking fried her ass up like she wasn't nothing.
No.
So I'm like, at this point, when they get him and they poke him with a stick and he wakes up, I'm like, nope. I would have been that dude. I would
start swinging.
And
I'd have swung on all of them, children and women first.
Yeah.
I would have pissed everybody off immediately. So they had just like, this motherfucker's over here beating up all of our women and children. I'd be like, yeah, kill me now. Like, please don't keep me in a cage and cut pieces off of me. Like,
because even when they get him up, they bring him back to their little village area.
Yeah, they have that big cave system.
Yeah, they do.
Thing,
And
it's actually pretty cool. That's a cool location. I did like that.
It is, and they're casually they're walking him up in here, and I'm like, at this point, dude, in your mind, you have to know you ain't getting out of this, buddy. You have
and he doesn't speak like he doesn't speak the language. That's what Charlie was there for. Charlie was also, like I said, he was the local, so he was, and then Rolf actually knew some of it, but Robert does. So he has no ability to communicate with these people, even if they spoke the standard language in the area, let alone whatever fucking, hey, no, we haven't seen civilization and we've existed in here for tens of thousands of years, whatever language they spoke.
Yeah.
And dude, he's just, I mean, they got him like bound, but like, bro, they're not even dragging you.
Yeah. Like you're walking with them, buddy. Like you almost kind of giving them the green light, like you're okay with this. Like they're thinking, like, is this dude? He's cool with us. Like he wants.
Right. And let's also not forget that these are Filipinos, so nobody of them is over 5'2", including the men folk. Robert's a pretty. He looks to be about 5'11" to 6'1".
Yeah.
So, I mean, now they do have weapons. I'll give him that. They do have weapons. But again, they also fucking eat people. Yeah. Fuck no, you will eat my corpse. I don't give a fuck what you do to my body after it, but you gonna kill me. I ain't sticking around to see.
Yeah, you got to kill me first. And that's the whole time I'm watching this, and I'm watching him like, dude, like, and even after they wake him up and they drag him to their village, he's just walking along with them. Like, he's just like, dude, you've seen what they do. You know what the end game is here.
Yeah.
They get him back to their little fucking F.M.K village, which was, hey, and I put in my notes, they is a lot of them there.
Bro.
Hey,
this may be the biggest cannibal tribe out of the 3 movies, if I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because even in Cannibal Farah, there wasn't that a ton of them that they showed, Cannibal Farah.
Yeah, and to the best of my recollection, because I planned on rewatching Farah's and Holocaust right before we do the final, where we rate everything, because it's been a minute since I've watched them too. Yeah. But yeah, even the bigger group scenes of the cannibal tribes, I mean, there was a lot of them in that cave system, and there was women, there were children, there were children of all ages in there, and men and women too. I mean, it was like a full on fucking society.
Yeah, there was a lot of them. Like when they rolled up in, people are like coming out, and I'm just like, they all, you got little kids like standing up, and you can tell there's a whole lot of nakedness.
I remember this. I was like, bro, there are so many casual cocks in this movie.
Casual cock all over the place, man.
Bro, everybody there is. I mean, Robert's even naked for a good chunk of the movie from here on out. I don't know if he ever gets clothed again.
We're gonna get. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, yes.
But yeah, they roll up in this area. There's this whole tribe, and like I said, this is not a handful of people. Hey, these little Filipino people be over there fucking in the jungles. Like, they fucking. Because
and the other thing I remembered, I was like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, dude, he's not even enough to feed like half of these people.
No.
Like, that's when I was like, I bet that like this is a delicacy, because it shows them eating other shit. They don't just eat humans. No, this is like a treat for them when they come across outsiders. Yeah. And I'm just like, bro, do you realize how fucking doomed you are?
Yeah.
Like this is yes. Yeah, dude, like you are a treat. Yeah. You are fucking something they would seek. You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna eat you. They're gonna eat the fuck out of you, bro.
Yeah. They're gonna do you real slow and nice. Like, they're just not gonna rip you. They're going to savor you.
And then that's the other problem is like, I'd be worried, like, wait, what if they do try to feed everybody a piece of me?
Yeah.
This is gonna take a while.
Yeah.
This is gonna be really fucked up. I better make sure they kill me beforehand, because they ain't gonna just lop off a foot and tie on a tourniquet and everybody get a little piece and fucking no, bro.
Yeah.
There's a shitload of them in this cave system.
Yeah, and so they get Robert down there and they have him tied up to this rock. They all come out, And there are so many of them. That's what kind of surprised me, because in any of these other movies I've watched, it's always been, you see a handful of them.
Yeah.
But this one is like, this is a community.
Yeah, like clearly they're not nomadic, like, or
Yeah.
anything like that. Like they're hunkered down in this big cave system and in the surrounding areas up top. Like, no, like this is their place.
Yeah, they've been
They're not
doing
they
this a minute.
yeah, like you didn't just run across a group of migrating cannibals and just happen to,
No.
like, bro, like, no, you landed in their fucking capital city.
Yeah, and these people, and people want to say, oh, the cannibals type, but they've been surviving, people, on
Yeah.
the normal shit, alligator, animals.
Yeah.
Hey, that's fine. I feel like when it comes to cannibal movies, at some point, it's kind of like in Cannibal Farah, where it's like somebody pissed them off. Like, these motherfuckers have been living their own life. They've been doing their own thing, surviving just fine. Somebody came in there and kind of fucked up their little.
Well, and that's what happens in Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
Like, when the shit goes down, you're almost like, all right, white journalist, you fucked around. Get ready to find out.
Yep.
In Jungle Holocaust, they again, like with Swan went to go take a piss or take a shit. Like, she wasn't armed. They don't have guns. Like, these aren't, like, they didn't come for this shit. They came to prospect oil. Yeah. So, like, she was of zero threat to them. Yeah. And that's why I say I take it as though, like, this is like a delicacy.
Yeah.
Like, they get it so rarely that, like, there's just, if they see it, done. Like, we're getting it.
At some point, when I'm watching this, I'm thinking to myself, at some point, this wasn't the first time these little jungle folk have seen outside meat.
No, and they probably know of that airstrip.
Yes.
Like a hunting, like they would hunt, like, oh, like that's like their nest or whatever.
Yeah, something at some point, whether the fucking white man come in there and fucking,
it was us. Come on, man.
I think it's like, maybe it was us. We did it.
Yes. It was us, and we did it on purpose.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, whoever the first one that pissed them off, yeah, we totally went in there and fucking was just like, we're white, what's here?
Yeah,
like,
we're fucking nosy. We rolled in there, putting our nose in some shit it shouldn't have been in.
No.
And that's the reason why our little group that's just now arrived on this island gets fucked up, because the nosy ass white people rolled up in this fucking little island years ago or whenever.
Yeah.
Like, hey, wonder what's down there. Let's go down there and just see.
We just had to make an airstrip, and they were like, this clearing here, if white people just keep showing up.
Yeah,
like, and they taste really fucking good.
They're pretty tasty. They are different. They got a little flavor.
Yeah, we're gonna send someone over here at least every other day to see if there's these new upright white pig things that we enjoy eating.
Yeah, like every now and then they're gonna send us a new little batch.
Yeah,
man, and we're gonna get to partake in it. So they, in my opinion, when it comes to cannibal, these people have survived a certain amount of time doing their own thing. At some point, us white folk got nosy, put our nose in their business, and now they've got a taste of the white meat people. They've tasted it and they liked it.
You could kind of, if you've also seen Cannibal Holocaust, you could even almost, and I know it's like not, I don't believe, I'd have to refresh myself. Someone please put it in the comments. But I'll remind myself once I rewatch it before the final episode. That it's not in the same area, but Cannibal Holocaust could be almost more seen as like a prequel, because they go in there to observe the tribe, and they fuck up the tribe. They fuck with them again, and that is kind of common too. And this one kind of reminds me. And do you remember the movie Green Inferno by Eli Roth? His cannibal movie.
Yep.
This one has, you could tell he actually pulled some from this too, because Farah and Cannibal Holocaust, I'm learning.
You
I'm buying in. That in that the people that we ultimately witness kill, like it's hard to feel any pity for him. It's
No.
fucked up. Some of it's fucked up. But like in Green Inferno and in Jungle Holocaust, they weren't coming to help anybody, but they were just there. They just fucking happened to be there. They didn't do anything to anybody. So there's a different wrinkle to it on that one. Whereas like what you're describing, like maybe someone had already came through and fucked with these people, a la like a Cannibal Holocaust style. So now they're to the point like, yo, when we see that metal bird, I don't give a fuck who it is. We're eating the shit out of them motherfuckers because they may be friends with the last people who fucked with us.
Yeah, we frying them fuckers up,
Yeah.
And
so Robert's in the big cave village.
Roberts gets trapped.
He is surrounded by 5'3" and under people just hanging casual cock and casual tits everywhere.
Hey, and this, I'm not gonna lie. Up to this point in the movie, I caught myself. I'm getting bored right now.
Yes.
What? Because it's just, you're showing me some animals killing some other animals type bullshit, whatever, And so now we're in this little cave area. We got Robert. They got him in this little kind of like down in the, I don't know what the fuck you call it, but he's kind of trapped. He's down there with some fucking other animals, some birds or some shit. And so I'm wondering, like, what the fuck's taking them so long to throw into the shrimp on the bobby type thing,
right?
With fucking Robert, like, what are we waiting on? And and so he's down there, and the one part that comes to my mind when we get to this is where he singles out this one chick, this one girl, one female, and he's like asking her, like, "Hey, come over here," and he's caged in, he can't get out. And he's like asking her for some help. Old dude just either wants to get out, he's hungry, or wants some fucking water.
Right.
And I will say this old girl that he calls upon to assist him, she ain't a bad lady.
No. So so the character's name is Pulan. The actress is Mimi Lai. Who is actually not Filipino. I looked it up. She's actually Burmese, so she's from Burma. But it's still that's still that what I call the other Asians. It's still part of that whole group where you're just like, oh, you're not Korean, Japanese, or Chinese. Oh, you're one of those other Asians. Burma's in there with it, which is why she was able, and she does pass for Filipino very well. And she's pretty much butt naked the whole fucking time too. And there's nothing wrong with it if you're a fan of the female anatomy.
Yeah, she is
not hard on the eyes.
Yeah, because we first see her when they first capture Robert. They tie him up to this rock.
He's like all.
They show up and they start pulling his clothes off, and they're like ripping his clothes, and they
because he's got on black cotton underwear. Like he's got on tighties, but they're black. So all these people have on animal skins. They got like loincloths. A few of them. Some of the dudes, I don't know if you earn loincloths there, but they're just straight. They're just straight hanging casual cock around everybody.
The little kids don't get nothing to cover their little dicks up until they hit a certain age, I guess, because these bunch of little kids, just little preemie pieces running around.
You gotta earn the right in this tribe to protect your dick.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the trial is.
Open until you get a certain age.
Yeah. But when they take his underwear off, that one guy's like looking and fondling it, like they don't the material and stuff. And I was like, dude,
I don't know.
Like Robert has had like sweaty fucking. I crashed in a Mindanao jungle fucking swamp balls for like 48 hours in that shit. If you don't think those underwear reek, that lets me know how fucking much you people stink your fucking selves.
Yeah.
He's got them all right up in there.
Because once they rip his clothes off, that's the first time we get to see our girl. She comes out. And she comes out and she like pulls his underwear off to where it's just like Robert.
She was peeking into it. Remember, she was like peeking into the top.
Yeah. It's not, this old girl has seen dick before. She knows what's there. She gets the underwear off.
She may not have seen white dick before, though.
This is true.
And maybe that was why. Maybe it was her turn. her turn to earn her loincloth or whatever they do there.
We find out later what she thinks about the white cock. We'll touch on that when we get there.
Yeah.
And but yeah, she gets his underwear off. Robert's tied up butt naked. Got it.
Yeah.
And so then later on, though, like I said, when Robert's in the cave.
Yeah, but okay, before we do that, because do you forget the when he was on the rock, all of them were messing with his dick. They kept pulling it.
Yeah,
because he wasn't circumcised and they were.
Oh.
And yeah, they kept just doing that. Like it was like someone, like if you had a pig with like a curly tail and you'd kind of pull on it to straighten it and watch it go back up. That's like what they were doing. Like they were blown away by his foreskin. And like Poulon, I guess, must have thought that the foreskin meant it was bigger. It doesn't. And Robert didn't look to be packing much more than a lot of the other jungle folks around there. So I don't know. I guess she was just impressed that it was white. Because outside of that, you know, what much. But yeah, so but like in that moment, like the whole fucking tribe, dudes and other women are just coming up, like they're sending kids up, like, go touch the white man's penis. It's good luck. Like all of them are just like, you know, if you pull on a white man's uncircumcised penis, you'll have 7 years of good harvest in a jungle.
Nothing but good coming your way. Like the crops will be plentiful if you go touch his.
They
make sure
they turned it into a very uncasual cock very quickly.
Yeah.
And that scene was so fucking weird to watch. And it was only trumped by the scene that you were leading to. So please fucking continue, because this scene, I literally was like, what the fuck is happening in this fucking movie?
Yeah. And because later on, our boy's in his little
cave. he's in the hole.
Yeah, he's in the hole.
And because remember, after that, real quick, they hook him to like this weird thing over a pit and keep dropping him.
It's like,
and they're like,
fly.
Yeah, and so he eventually passes out, and that's when he wakes up in this like hole.
Yep, in the hole.
And then he's trying to talk to Poulon about the motherfucker wants some water.
Dude's just thirsty.
He's wanting some water. And kind of in what I think was a boss bitch move, Poulon. She does not give this guy any water.
No. And you know, when she comes up to him, he's like kind of asking her, like he just wants some water, and she comes up to him and she's kind of like touching him. You know, he can't do nothing because he's on the other side of this caged in area, and she's kind of like touching him. And then I'm watching it, and then you see her touching him, and then the next thing you know, Poulon has some casual cock in her hand.
Poulon is getting her pull on, y'all.
Poulon is pull.
That is the kind of fucking humor that you get when you watch Fright Flick F.M.K. That wasn't scripted, but it was fucking gold.
Poulon starts pulling on Rob's dick.
And dude, keep going. Because I want to see if you point it out, because if you don't, I'm going to point it out. But if you do point it out, I'm going to fucking erupt. Go ahead, though.
No, because I'm just curious as I'm watching this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's like tugging on his dick. And then I'm going, okay, first off, this isn't Poulon's first rodeo. Like, Poulon knows that the male type gets pleasure from this.
Yeah.
Because she's just tugging on his little dick. And I'm sitting there going, and then I'm asking myself, like, if I was in his shoes,
exactly.
Would I be turned on by this? Like, would I be okay? Like,
because
she got some nice, she's a very attractive looking jungle lady.
Dude, she is. She 100% is, and she's not the only one. If you freeze it, there's some baddies out there. Like these are all like
her boobies are not National Geographic.
No,
like she got some perky boobies.
No, she is in her fucking prime.
Yeah,
fucking jungle broad. So what you just said was I did not ask myself that question. Because something happened in this scene that immediately answered that question for me.
I had to pause it because I got a little chubby when I was watching it. You know, I was
so I'm sitting there because it comes out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Nothing. Even the fact that all of them were like pulling on his dick for good luck when he was tied up on that rock earlier. This still just came even further out of left field. But dude, so he's sitting there. He doesn't look well. He looks dehydrated.
Yeah.
He looks like he's been broken down in the jungle. This man, his face shows defeat. He is exhausted. He's thirsty. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is such a weird fucking scene. And it keeps going. And it keeps cutting to Poulon. And bro, she is death stare locked eyes with him. Robert's making all kinds of weird faces. Like, it may feel good, but it's just fucked up. It feel good.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is going to work because I'm fucking dehydrated. Is dust going to come out if she succeeds? Because I haven't had anything to drink in 3 days. But dude, her expression never changed. And she never stopped locking. And bro, I already know. That scene wouldn't have even lasted as long if I was in it. Because come hell or high water, I would have literally come hell or high water.
Yeah.
Because I would have sitting there and be like, what is this bitch doing? And then I'd been like, bitch, are you looking in my soul as you stroke my dehydrated dick in a jungle prison? Yeah. Because that may be the hottest fucking thing that's ever happened to me. And this is going to be over quick.
Yeah. I was like, you know, this whole, I'm watching it. I'm like, there's a part of Robert's expression is like he's not into it, but I'm like, dude, as much shitty shit that has happened to you
this in the silver lining,
you have this attractive lady with some nice boobies tugging on your junk right now. You don't know what tomorrow holds. I am going to bust this magical nut.
Yeah. It's probably it's going to most likely be the last one ever.
Exactly.
And dude, what an epic fucking nut.
Yes.
My last nut, like when you die and get to heaven and they're like, you know, like maybe there's a club where they're just like, so like, where's the last time you had sex? And you're like, well, I didn't have sex last, but I got a fucking handy in a jungle prison from a cannibal tribe girl. And dude, she never fucking blinked while she stared into the essence of who I was and fucking rubbed me out, bro.
She looked into my soul. This old girl had a choice of many cocks in the village, and she decided to come up to this white man's dick.
Yes.
And look into my soul and just stroked it off. And
bro, she just stopped by and blessed them a little bit.
She did.
Just came over and gave him a little blessing.
Yeah, and she could have put a little marker oil on my forehead and she sent me on my way. Like, you know, the Catholic thing, and sent me on my way.
I feel like, you know what? I was really starting to doubt God after these past 3 days. But you know what? I think that he sent her to me. Like I would have rationalized everything. And then I'd have been like, do they have cigarettes? I need a cigarette now.
Yeah, I would have wanted to smoke afterwards because, like you said, her eye contact alone is like she's telling you that she knows you like it. She knows you want it.
And she's not going to stop until it came.
She's going to
She had nothing else to do.
No.
So she was like, you know what? The ball's in your court.
Yeah.
You know how to make me stop doing this. And you can tell by my eyes, I'm not stopping until you do what I want you to do. Which is a massive turn on, ladies. Like, that's just, you know.
It was like I said, if I may have watched this and got a little half chubby while I'm
that's a great horror sexual role play, ladies. If you if you and your husband love horror movies together, you should just straight on do a Poulon to him one night.
Yep.
And just watch how he fixes something random at the house the next day that you've been bitching about for fucking months.
Yeah, the disposal will be fixed, the grass will be cut, ladies.
Honestly, this is if you've seen a bunch of cannibal movies, this may be the best reason to watch this movie.
This is.
Because this is something that's not in the other ones. This was wholly original to Jungle Holocaust, and it came so fucking out of left field. It's glorious.
And it doesn't stop there. That's the beauty of it, because there's going to be a lot of because some shit that kind of goes down in this village, and we're not going to spoil all this. There's some shit that goes down in this little village while he's there in the cage. At some point, our boy Robert is going to get loose.
Yes.
And
he's with Poulon.
Yes. When Robert gets loose, he grabs Poulon as kind of like he's going to be like, if I got somebody here to kind of like hold like a hostage type thing. It's kind of what he puts out there.
No. That was solely him saying, no matter what happens, I'm getting another jungle handy before this happens. And so he but he snatched her. He didn't care for anybody else. For all we know, there could have been other people that were trapped that we didn't know that had the same fate. And he got out, and before he left, he was like, "Wait a second, where is she?"
Yeah, this dude didn't go around looking for other survivors. He had his eyes on one girl, and he
didn't even check to see if maybe they found Rolf. No,
he didn't give a fuck about Ralphie boy at this point.
No, it was him and Poulon. He found his ride or die. He fell in love in the middle of a jungle holocaust, and now that is real love.
Ladies, if you're trying to figure out how to lock a man down,
yes,
check this out, because Poulon gonna give you some pointers on how to.
A vaguely threatening hand job goes a long way to women out there. I promise you, it goes a long way.
You might think it won't do shit, but you just don't fucking know. And
if a guy has to sit there and wonder, like kind of almost bob and weave while you're tugging on him because he doesn't know if you're about to throw hands.
Yeah.
Watch what happens, girls. I promise.
You're gonna fall in love.
Or guys, if you're a guy out there, two dudes, whatever. If there's a penis around, and you have the ability to help it out, take a page out of Poulon's book, and maybe someone will also take you when they flee the jungle one day.
Exactly. Like I said, Poulon, it's layers behind this whole Poulon thing.
But then as they escape, it then because we kind of see him a little bit, and it's crazy. The alligator killing we talked about earlier, that all took place in the village. Again, they're not going to spoil everything, but there is some more animal violence in there. But one thing that's very odd compared to all the other ones, usually once people are captured, the killings start. I don't know why they were holding Robert as long as they were. I don't know if there was something kind of because they ate other shit while they had Robert. They already had him captured and in that hole when they killed the alligator, and it shows them they ate it.
And what made me wonder though is because while he's in this hole, he's down there with like these two birds or whatever.
Yeah, and they did some shit where they released the crane. Did you understand what that was about?
Yeah, they released, like when they took that hawk or whatever out.
Yeah.
It used it to lure in the alligator, the crocodile.
Okay. I didn't follow that all together.
Yeah, they used it as bait because at one point when Robert's looking out of his little caged in area, he sees them with this crocodile and they're ripping it open. They're cooking it, doing their thing.
Yeah.
And he was like, there's no way I'm going to be fucking crocodile bait. In his mind, he's thinking they're going to use him
to catch more crocodiles.
And something bigger. Maybe there's something bigger.
Gotcha.
And so and that's what I took that as. So when Robert gets loose and he once again grabs his girl Poulon, they take off. He has her kind of hand tied with little vine type shit, driving her through the jungle, doing her out the thing. He comes to a point to where Robert is going to decide he wants to just jump in the river to wash off. He leaves old girl next on the bank. He jumps in there. She gets loose. And Poulon,
he gets like leeches on him, and he's like trying to get the shit off of him. And while he's distracted, she hauls ass.
Yeah. Poulon is now took off running. She makes it out in this little kind of like open field area. She's hiding from him. Here comes Robert looking for her. And this is the point where he's trying to find her. Poulon jumps up. He sees her, pops her upside the head, straight up.
one of the worst choreographed hits I've ever seen.
Yeah.
There was I didn't see any sound. Or sorry, I didn't hear any sound. There wasn't even like a comic book thud.
Yeah.
And you could tell there was obviously no contact made. Like it wasn't even a good movie punch.
No,
it was awful.
Yeah, if they could have threw up a little like 1960s Batman, like
wham, like
let us know. But like it was so cheap, and so he like supposed like hits her, and they're like struggling on the ground. Now, this is where Robert decides he is going to have sex with Poulon.
Yeah. Again, completely fucking random.
Yeah,
it just and if anyone's ever watched other episodes, you know, but if they've watched it when it comes to like extreme stuff, everybody's got their one thing that's, to me, one of the things I hate the most are rape scenes. There's plenty of movies that have a reason for it to happen, and in that case, I'm far more cool with it in the movie because it does add something. Cannibal movies in general have a lot of rape in them, and there is no it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like even in Cannibal Holocaust, where I'm just like, why are they starting to just rape this tribe? Even with this one, I get the sexual like tension and stuff like that, but it didn't seem like that because he's on top of her after he's caught her, and he like tears her underwear off, her loin thing off she had on. And then he just sits there for a second, and then she tries to run again, and then he like tackles her from behind, and like that's when he proceeds to like rape her from behind. And it's just it's just odd. And it was even more odd because in the other ones, those scenes of randomness at least gave the cannibals a reason to attack. Yeah. But like Robert had already been wronged, and on top of that, Poulon was the only one that was even halfway fucking nice to him.
Yeah. And see, you thought of that whole part totally different than I did.
Oh, wait, hold on. Go ahead then. Oh my God.
Here's my take on
I'm almost worried.
No, here's my part right here. Because
I'm almost worried to hear your take.
Hey, here's my
Go ahead.
This when she tries to get away, Robert, of course, she tries to escape. Robert, she's trying to crawl away. Robert's behind her. Next thing you know, we straight up doggy styling that shit from the back. And, and there's got to be a part of Robert that thinks like, she gave me the hand job, what type thing or whatever. And so maybe he's just, I don't know, but he fucks her. He does his thing. And then you're thinking to yourself in that moment, like, holy shit, I can't believe he's doing that. But then it is a proven fact, even in the 70s, that now continues to this day. If you are able to lay that dick down right,
oh God,
mama gonna make you a sandwich, because the next day after he hits her over in the field, he wakes up the next morning. You see her kind of run off doing her thing.
Yeah.
When Robert wakes up, he looks over and there's this big leaf that is full of all these little jungle snacks.
Yeah.
Because she knows her man's hungry. He ain't a few days.
No, I will give you that.
Mama went and made him a sandwich in the jungle version of go make daddy a sandwich. That's what he did. She
refueled the engines.
Daddy laid that dick down and she went and made daddy a sandwich.
Which the thing of it is that like maybe it's the wrong. I hate to split hairs on such an awful topic, but let's all keep in mind here we're talking about a fucking movie. It's a fictional movie. We're not talking about some real shit. But it is maybe almost unfair to say he raped her. He definitely forced himself on her.
Yeah.
But it didn't really seem like she wasn't really fighting him off.
No.
It kind of turned into what seemed to be rough-ish consensual sex. So I would probably even say like again, splitting hairs on a shitty topic in a fake fucking movie. Everyone calm the fuck down. But I would give you that because yes, she doesn't try to run off again. And dude had fucking post nut sleep. So you know he slept good. She had plenty of opportunities to fucking leave. She had plenty of opportunities to fucking kill him for what he had done to her.
She could have.
And instead she went and fucking foraged food for him.
Yeah, she made Daddy a sandwich in the middle of the fucking jungle, people. Robert laid
she did
down. And she was like, she wasn't trying to get back to the locals after that.
No, she wasn't. And then again, and then they continue like traveling. There's no more issues ever between them.
No, she was catering, dude. Like,
yeah, and then now we know as an audience that they've if I'm not mistaken, again, you got to remind me because again, apart from these really just off the wall parts, everything is so again, it's not copied because this came before them.
Yeah,
but everything's been done and done better in Cannibal Holocaust and Ferox that the rest of it is just so common. It's easily to forget.
Yeah.
Don't they show us that Rolf is alive while Robert is also in the village? I thought it cut over. Does it not?
No, the only time we catch Ralphie boy is when those two
come upon again, and this is even weird too. They just completely randomly stumble upon him.
Yeah, like this whole big ass jungle, all this fucking space, and the thunderstorm hits. It starts pouring rain. Him and Poulin's trying to find cover. They run up into this random cave, and when they run up in there, it's just like he just bumps into Ralphie boy, and they have a little reunited, and it feels so good moment.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you got to remember Poulin and Robert were only trying to escape.
Yeah.
At this point, like Robert's, and I believe there's kind of like some like over dialogue or something where he's pretty much assumed Ralph's he's done. So they're not looking for him. They're not even calling his name. It's like Jay said, they literally go to find shelter and they just happen into a cave where Rolf's there. So that's complete and utter horse shit. But he is there. He is injured from what happened. He's got a real nasty fucking wound on his leg.
Yeah,
he's treating with like some coconut water and some other shit he's rigged up.
I don't know.
And that's when we find out that Ralph knows how to speak some of the language, but he can't figure out even how to communicate with Poulin because like the dialect's too far off.
Yeah.
So now
he thinks Poulin just kind of like give them up to the natives, to the folk. You know, he don't know whether or not to trust this bitch or not.
Yeah.
And this whole time you're thinking to yourself, and I start getting this because there's a part where they are making their way once again, trying to get out of there. And this is where some more locals show up all of a sudden. Now the locals have caught up to him.
Yeah.
Him and Ralphie boy are trying to get away. Poulin is still with them. Poulin's still like, you know, she's with them. She's trying to help them. Well, the locals catch her. And
and they can clearly tell that she's with them. You know, she didn't go run to them. And there's a little bit of time where they know the locals are there and they kind of start going, and Poulin is basically fleeing.
Yeah.
Like she's running from them, and the locals know this. So yeah, they get Poulin.
Things do not end well for Poulin.
No, but dude, how weak was that fucking kill?
It was.
Like it was so flipping weak. And then like immediately after they kill her, Ralph just randomly gets a spear into his chest, and Robert can tell that Poulin's dead, and is it's just like, oh well, no more jungle handies, whatever.
Yeah, no more.
But him and Rolf, they like they've and another thing too, they randomly found him in a cave. Now they have just randomly happened upon the landing strip where the plane was. They didn't know directions where to go.
Before the landing strip, another part that made me laugh was when they're trying to make their way out, trying to figure out what the fuck they are.
This is after Ralph's already took the spear.
Yeah.
So Robert's trying to he's like, I'm not leaving you. Yeah.
our boy Robert kind of stumbles down the hill. We get us he falls into an area where there's some snakes.
Oh,
I have a huge fear of snakes. And so anytime there's some snakes involved, it automatically kind of makes my butthole kind of tense a little bit. And so the this part made me fucking laugh because our boy Ralphie boy comes down there. He has a stick. He's telling Robert, don't move.
yeah.
He kind of pins down this cobra. It's a cobra. He grabs Cobra. Once he pins him by the neck, he takes the spear that Robert had made, a piece of wood with a point on it. He makes
no, that was the spear that Robert pulled out of Ralph.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. That was the spear they had.
Okay, so we use a spear now, a little weapon.
Yeah. They were at least smart enough that once he pulled it out of Ralph, they kept it. Which is completely out of character for them this whole fucking movie. He should have just threw it to the side and not had a weapon, but here he does.
Yeah.
And go ahead with the snake.
Here
dude.
we are down there with the snake, and they get the spear. Ralphie boy grabs the spear. He's got the cobra in one hand. He makes the cobra bite down on the spear. When he bites down on the spear, in Ralphie boy's words, that cobra just put his venom all on the point of that little spear stick.
Yeah.
So now they think they got us a chance. Now they're like, hey, we got us a weapon now. We got us a piece of fucking with
they upgraded their weapon.
We just upgraded our piece of wood with some cobra shit on the tip of it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and when I seen that part, I'm like, there better not be a part in this movie to where that actually works. And guess what, people? Jungle Holocaust is going to give us that part of the movie.
And I love, again, everyone keep in mind, Ralph he's so ecstatic that they now have one cobra venom laced spear.
Yes.
While a fucking two dozen fucking cannibals
it's a village
are on them.
Yep.
They have that was on, and I remember when I watched it, I was like, that's a spear. Hopefully you're going to stay far enough back that if you have to use it, you're going to fucking throw the thing.
Yeah.
What the fuck did it gain by having cobra venom on it? If you happen to be a shitty throw, that guy will die in what, 10, 15 minutes? You're not going to be around to dude. It was, that was another one where I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why? He literally risked getting bit by a cobra himself to put some cobra venom on the one weapon that they had to fight off like 20 plus cannibals.
And when they're trying to drag their way through the woods, because like I said, Poulin is now dead, and now it's just they're dragging their way through where they come. The village people are on them again, and
the actual village people, they're back there just YMCAing. They
now
just keep yelling, "Young man."
Robert's got to duel with one of them. The dude comes down. The dude got his little weapon. Him and Robert start throwing down. Well, in this little tussle that they have, you see Robert kind of poke him. Yeah. And it's supposed to be like he stabbed him with this stake or this little spear.
Yeah.
And the quickest cobra venom takeover in the history of cobra venom. Like this dude is within seconds of the tip of this spear piercing his little bitty skin. He's done. Like, I'm just like, man, back in my G.I. Joe days with G.I. Joe and Cobra, like, where the fuck was that Cobra at back in the day? G.I. Joe wouldn't have stood a chance.
Dude, and again, it did nothing for the movie, because even so, again, so now we have this weird scene with this very stupid death. And even if everything in that scene had landed correctly, the way the filmmakers and the writers intended, it still wouldn't have fucking mattered, because they just killed one cannibal, but then Robert like cuts him open and gets a piece of him out. I think I read it was his liver, And that scared. Why would that scare the cannibals? That's what they're gonna do, and they still have like 19 of them.
Yeah,
versus
it's like when he cut open that one dude and took a of him. It's like all the cannibals were like, "Oh shit, this white man's scary." Like I'm like, what is this? Like,
no, and even the argument of like the fact of, okay, well, they killed Poulon. Okay, so they have someone to eat. Okay, but we've already established that these guys are remote as hell. And this is clearly, even and the best we can assume is that they held Robert so long because this is such a great delicacy. Maybe there was going to be this kind of pomp and circumstance, this kind of thing around doing it.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't make any sense because we randomly saw him just eating swan in the middle of the fucking woods. So like nothing really syncs up. It doesn't make any sense that Robert was held by them as long as he was. It doesn't make sense that anything with the cobra venom laced spear, none of that makes sense. Because again, we had this retarded death that still didn't matter because there was like 19 other cannibals. And then suddenly the white guy decides to take a bite out of one of them and it freaks them the fuck out and they leave.
Because they don't fuck with them.
No, dude, it's immediate.
They follow them all the way to where like magically all of a sudden they just stumble across the plane. It's not like you see them taking a bite. You see Robert taking a bite of this piece of this dude's liver. And then the next thing you know, they're stumbling onto an open airfield where the plane's at, and they're in the plane trying to start it up.
And then we get more of that great music.
Yeah, the music in this is so fucking, it just suits it, man.
It's so hopeful they're gonna escape. But then while we're watching them try to do the plane, what else are we seeing while this fucking fantastically, yes, our heroes made it, music is playing, is them processing Poulon.
Yeah.
Literally meat processing Poulon.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they get the plane, they get out. Did Roth die?
It looked to me like he did because once the plane kind of lifted off, he just kind of falls over in the floor. And plane. So I took it as kind of like he died.
Again, his leg, that wound looked fucked up.
Yeah, when you see him in the cave and he's trying to put some fucking magic shit on it, where the fuck he came up with.
He's pouring it out of a coconut.
Yeah, it was not good.
And then he took a spear to the chest.
Yeah. And so, and even then, it's like I'm like you, it's like I'm trying to figure out like, why were they so scared of this dude? Because he took a bite of this guy, because they literally did not bother them the rest of the way. They let him get to the plane. They let him get in the plane, start the plane.
No, that was it.
And they do nothing. And it's just like, hey.
No, and I mean, there you guys go. We broke it down. I mean, I guess so all right, let's put a rating on it. And so what's yours? Do you want to go first? You want me to go first? You're the host. I'll let you decide.
Hey, go ahead. I want you to go.
Okay. So for me, it's a fuck. It is only a fuck because it led to Cannibal Holocaust and Cannibal for Rocks.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Otherwise, it's a fucking kill. This movie is either boring, which it is quite often.
Yes.
Or and let's not even say too. So now and I'll say this in also saying it. You can't stream this anywhere. Tubi used to have it, so it has a thing on their page, and you can be like notified if they get the rights to have it again. But that's it. So if you see it's on Tubi, no, it's not. So there's no place to stream it other than like basically owning it or other means. But dude, the picture quality, there was some scenes that were very dark, so dark I couldn't really tell what was happening. Particularly if you watch like we did, like I didn't even watch this version because this one has been cleaned up.
Yeah.
I actually am curious. I'm going to rewatch this because I want to be able to compare the cleaned up audio and video now, but I wanted to watch the same version you were going to watch for the purposes of this. And the one we watched, if you before Blu-ray and all this remastering shit started happening, this would have been the way you would have originally watched Jungle Holocaust.
Yeah.
All the way up until sometime in the 2000s. But it was either boring. The kills were fucking jokes. None of it landed. The effects went from at one point looking okay to then the next point not looking like it's worth shit. Again, man, it's the only reason, otherwise it is a completely apart from its link to Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust, that are two, in my opinion, insanely better and well done movies. But you may not have had those if you didn't have Jungle Holocaust, and for that reason, that's why it's a fuck for me. But I mean, honestly, it's to me, it's funner to watch it for to laugh.
Yeah.
Then you're not going to get anything out of it. The effects aren't great. The story's terrible. The overdubbing, everything. The only stuff this stuff pulls off perfectly is some of this. It's very funny. The music, some of those scenes when they just start randomly fucking with dude's dick.
Yeah.
The Cobra scene is, I mean, it's worth it for that. But what is yours? Are you gonna? It's got to be a fuck or a kill. So which one is it for you? Because I'll respect either way. Because I'm telling you, that's the only reason it's not a fucking kill for me.
Yeah, and I totally get the reason why you say it's a fuck for you, because you watch, as I'm watching this, you have to remind yourself that this was prior to Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust, because you forget that. You're just thinking
we didn't spirit finger.
Yeah,
you said Ferox, we didn't, and they were gonna, they were gonna fucking make us eat shit in the comments if we didn't. So
yeah, we got to do. Every time I say Cannibal Ferox,
yes,
and so you watch this, and when you're watching it, you're thinking to yourself, it's just another cannibal movie. You're not thinking that it's the before these other two movies. But for me, and I totally get your view on it and your rating on it, but for me, it's a kill for me. And God, there was so much. I caught myself wanting it to end. Like,
yes, this movie's not even 90. It's not even 90 minutes, and it felt well over 2 hours long.
Like, yes, and I'm sitting there as I'm watching it and I'm taking my notes. I'm just like, there's a couple times I paused it just so I could see how much time was left, and I'm sitting there going, like, really? Like, what the fuck are we gonna do for another 30 fucking minutes?
Well, and the weird thing too, man, it drags so bad when they're not killing Robert and they're just holding him prisoner.
Yeah.
Literally, except for the hilarious scene where he gets jerked off, nothing fucking happens that matters. You can literally skip that almost probably 15, 20 minutes of the movie and you will lose nothing. Nothing fucking happened. I was praying they were going to start killing somebody. Nothing was happening. It was boring.
And I was so annoyed during that period of time. The animal noises they used for this movie. Holy shit, were they fucking like nails on a chalkboard.
You could tell that they added some in post, and man, they just cranked it through, which again, the sound design's terrible. The overdubbing, did you notice there were several times where someone's mouth would move and they clearly said an entire sentence or two, and there was not even an English dub over it.
No, not at all.
Like, why didn't you add, like, it's a poorly made movie, honestly, but like, I mean, but at the same time, I tell you, like, you won't appreciate the shit that made us laugh though if you don't watch it from beginning to end.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can't just watch the scene where Poulon starts jerking off fucking Robert in that fucking prison. That will not mean shit to you if you haven't already watched the previous like 30 plus minutes, and to see how fucking out of nowhere it comes. That's what's hilarious.
Yeah. And this is stuff like that where, like, you know, where she jacks him off where you don't see it coming. It's just like, because I'm thinking in my mind, it's a cannibal movie. As soon as they tied old dude to the rock,
I thought his dick was coming off.
I was like, they're about to chop his dick off. And
then when they showed the fact that he wasn't circumcised and like the foreskin kind of made them, it was a weird cut because I remember thinking, I was like, oh fuck, they're gonna fucking like they're gonna get a rock and like circumcise this motherfucker. Yeah. This is gonna get brutal. Because they like show that and like show the reaction. Then suddenly this one, like one of the leaders or whatever stands up and starts doing like this chant. And I was like, oh fuck. Cause when cannibals start chanting, shit's about to get, and I thought for a fact they were either gonna fucking cut his dick off.
Yep.
They were going to circumcise him, something. Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing. That's when it then cut to they hooked into like the vines
like
and
he was a bird. Yeah. There was because even there's a part in that part when it happens where he's like thinking to himself. He's like he says they think I can fly because they're flapping arms and they're doing a whole lot of like waka waka woola woola type shit.
But it never goes into why. Like, why would they?
It just doesn't. It doesn't.
Other white guys don't fly, so why did they think he would? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
It's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess of a movie. But honestly, I would, if you can watch it for free, I will say that. if you can watch it for free, I would say it's a it's a good one-time fuck. But get ready to laugh. Just go ahead and get ready, and it's absurd, and you'll have a way better time with the other ones. Yep. Do not pay to watch this. Fucking not pay to watch this. Pay to watch Cannibal Holocaust or For Rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few other ones that I'm trying to think of some of the other cannibal movies and stuff that came. Dude, this one is it's a fucking mess, man. It's a fucking mess, but it's not a bad comedy. It's not a bad comedy.
It's not. And as I'm watching it, though, you also remind yourself 1977.
Yes.
And that keep that in mind. Like, this isn't some recent type shit. This is, and there's a lot of people out there who are into horror now and shit that, wasn't even a thought in your daddy's nutsack in 1977. So this is the fact that somebody came up with this stuff and put it and so for that I will give it props. 1977.
Yeah.
And even in 1977, people, that many years ago, this movie proved one thing. No matter what I take from this movie, no matter what you may take, it proves one thing.
Tell us. I got to know.
If you lay the dick right, mama will go make daddy a sandwich. That's what it shows me in this movie. When that old girl made that dude a leaf full of snacks after he laid the pipe, mama's gonna make daddy a sandwich if you lay the fucking dick right, damn it.
Dude, I'm telling you, like that. But that's the kind of stuff, honestly, you'll enjoy this movie if you take it like we did.
Yeah.
And we did not start out taking this. I started watching this like I would any other cannibal movie, fully ready. I like cannibal movies. But there's a lot of people who don't. And I'll promise you this, like, if you don't like cannibal movies, this will do nothing but make you hate them far more. This lets you know where all the genre tropes of cannibal movies at that time came from. Like, they're all present here. Like, you see it. So but dude, it's, again, if you can sit down, even knowing that it's going to be funny, if you can sit down and you guarantee, you promise yourself you're going to watch it from beginning to end, and you can do it for free, I think you'll have a lot of fun if you also like cannibal movies. Yeah. Because especially if you like Cannibal Holocaust, and if you've seen other stuff by Ruggiero Deodato, who directed this, you're going to definitely like, because you're going to see a lot of where the early stuff come from. And that is fun, as people who like me and Jay and all of y'all who really dig horror. It was, I don't regret watching it.
Oh, no.
And I know Jay doesn't even want it as a kill. But it deserves to be killed. Like, literally, I'm giving it a mercy fuck solely because it gave us Cannibal Holocaust, and I'm a big Cannibal Holocaust fan.
Yeah,
and so for that, but and then, like I said, and then, dude,
the parts,
the shit that was funny was fucking great.
The parts that made us joke about it, like the jacking him off and making daddy a sandwich, that type of shit, like if you get a chance to watch it, if you go watch it, like John said, if you can find it for free.
Yes,
Okay.
don't. It's not worth it. It's not worth it for like. I mean, rent it for $1 if you find it, but
yeah,
yeah,
don't go out spending a little bit of money on.
Don't do what I did because I
Yeah.
probably spent well over $30 or $40 to get this because I know it was already out of print when I bought it. I'm happy to have it because I'm fucking weird. Don't do this. Don't. This cover is the coolest part about it, but
It is. That's the
I
best
had
this movie.
I had a ton of fun talking about it, like
Yeah.
joking with it, getting your jokes from it, and like your slant on these fucked up things, and all. It's a lot of fun. I could honestly see, especially if you have friends and all of y'all enjoy cannibal movies and none of y'all have seen it. If you're drinkers, get some beers. If you're smokers, get you some bud, get you some food, and sit down and watch this together if you could. I guarantee you guys are probably going to have a lot, just some of the absurd scenes. You're going to, especially if you guys are pot smokers, someone's going to fucking erupt the very moment that she death stares his soul while she's jerking him off in a jungle cave prison. Dude, the snake venom spear. Oh my God, dude.
The snake spear, baby.
I feel like we have to figure out some way to incorporate Cobra Venom spears into Fright Flick merch. I need somebody to ask me what the fuck is a Cobra Venom lace spear and be like, let me tell you.
we have to work something up for that. But yeah,
I'll go to the woods and find us some sticks and I'll just shave some tips.
Hey,
there'll be official Cobra Venom sticks. Cobra Venom not included.
Yeah, find your own venom, but we're gonna give you
yes.
It is possible. I've seen it happen. If they were in the 70s, damn it, we can do it now.
But yeah, like I said, this is actually one of those that I actually like the movie more now, having ripped on it with you than I did after I watched it.
Yes.
So like so there's that to everybody. Like if you have means to watch this, and certainly if you have means to watch it around the same time with a friend or even with a friend, we live in 2 different time zones.
Yeah.
But we both watched it and we're discussing it here. If you could discuss it with someone who just recently watched it and like go over some of those scenes, it's worth it for sure for that. And to see where this shit come from, where Ruggiero kind of started off with this cannibal stuff. But yeah, man, that's it. That's Jungle Holocaust.
Holocaust.
It was a Holocaust, and it had nothing to do with the fucking body count. It was just kind of as sad as a Holocaust. That movie was a train wreck, dude. It was.
But like John said, if you can find it, check it out, watch it with some friends.
Yes.
And like I said, do not go into this thing with high hopes. Just you've listened to us rip on it, damn it. Just appreciate the funny shit that's in it. If that's the only thing you get out of it, just look forward to those points where it be, the eye locked jack off.
She literally eyeball fucked him.
I fucked the shit out of him.
She did, dude. That is the most egregious eye fuck I think I've seen ever put on film.
Yeah, and it made me want to be a prisoner in that fucking hole.
Dude, she had it. There was a look of almost like, what motherfucker?
Yeah,
dude. Like she looked into him and down on him at the same time. Ladies, I'm telling you, study that facial expression.
Yes.
Men, if you love dicks, and I don't care what you identify as, if you love dicks, study that scene. Figure out how to do that exact expression that Poulin did, and whoever's dick you mess with next, they'll put a ring on it. They'll put a fucking ring on it.
You got to eye lock them in, and she fucking, like I said, I fucked the shit out of him.
Yes. And it was an even split of determination and disgust in her eyes, and it was divine. And for the only time in this movie, I envied Robert.
Yes. Like I just said, I wanted to be in that hole.
Yes. I was like, here I am sitting, watching this stupid movie on my big ass laptop, and I could be in the middle of the jungle getting fucking cave handies while someone's looking down on me. And you're like,
Punan could be just me off in the middle of the jungle, right? No, it's you fucking piece of shit. Robert, it's you.
They should have done like a thing after the credits where like Robert's old and he's reminiscing, or it's in his memoirs, and like he's on a talk show and they're like, do you can you say anything positive? And he'd be like, you know what, for one moment in my life, I had someone jerk me off in a jungle cave while she looked at me like I was the biggest piece of shit that she ever saw.
Yeah.
And I knew true happiness in the midst of true fear.
Yeah. Like I was scared for my life, but in that moment, my life didn't matter.
Yes,
my life
that was my life.
Yeah,
everything in my life led to this moment.
Yeah, my life was in her hands in that moment, and no matter what, I was prepared to go in that moment. Like,
dude, not to beat this dead horse for anybody. If anybody, we're focusing on it because it is that fucking funny.
It is,
dude. It reminded me. You remember that movie Ratatouille, the Disney movie where the rat cooks?
Yeah.
Do you remember that when the fucking critic tries his food at the end and he takes a bite and it like zooms into his pupils and he goes to his childhood with his skint knee and his peasant mother is making him his favorite dish of ratatouille and he's like fucking having a flash. That was everything that was going on in Robert's mind right then and there, brother. He was having an existential experience.
Yeah. There was a moment, we've all been there, people, to where, you watch, you pull up your most raunchy Pornhub clip that you can pull up and you watch it and you spend that 43 seconds of your life getting it there.
Yes.
Then when it's all over, that you feel disgusted with yourself at the same time. Robert had that look. He had like a tear in his eye.
Yeah, like I don't want to come, but I'm gonna.
Yeah, like I am not proud. Like I do not want to come in this moment, but I'm about to. And
he just had shame loads all over the wall of that cave, just covered in shame loads.
Yeah, he just splooged himself all over. And
shame splooge.
Yeah, a shame splooge. And fellas, we've all watched the Pornhub. We've all been there and done it.
Yes.
In that moment, we watched the stepmom porn. We watched. And then we've
convinced ourselves it's not sick because they're not blood related. It's fine. It's just fine. We're all fine.
It's not blood.
I'm going to delete. Okay. It's the kind of shit where you delete your Google history after you're done. Not because you're worried someone else is going to find it. You're worried you're going to remind yourself of what it took that day to get you across the finish line, and you don't ever want to remember it again.
In one hand, you have a handful of cum. In one hand, you're clearing the browser history on your phone.
Yes.
Like John said.
Double cleanup. I'm cleaning two messes at once.
Yeah. It's not that you're worried about getting caught. It's the fact that you feel ashamed in that moment.
I don't want to remember it. Yeah, no, dude, like
open up your phone later and then you get reminded of the dirty shit you did in the bathroom an hour ago. That is what this part of the movie, when you get there, you are in that moment with Robert, where Robert is ashamed and just on top of the world all at the same time. I
guarantee you he was rock hard.
He had to be.
I bet there wasn't a single bit of softness anywhere.
No.
There was no semi. The look, and that was one of the things that was even funnier. Like the distress on his face, because it did literally, and like, remind all of y'all, he's not tied up to the rock anymore.
No.
He could stop this.
Yes. He could pull
He
away.
has the ability to step back from her and stop this. Yep. Not only does he not do that, but the look in his face, the look of dehydration, shame, the fact that he knows he could stop this right now, that he's not gonna, and he doesn't plan to. Bro, that's actually, honestly, what was the guy? What was the Massimo Fasci? That was the best acting he did in this entire fucking movie, because he literally displayed about 17 emotions in about 7 seconds because of what was happening to him.
Yeah,
I believed him in that moment. He truly was Robert in that moment.
Hey, like John said, at any given time in this particular part, he could have backed off.
Yes, he did.
He tied down, and she was working his manhood. Robert had all free will to just back up from the cage. That's all he had to do was back up.
Dude, yeah.
He couldn't. Robert Robert's life was on the
I didn't even
line.
think about that at the time when we were talking about it earlier, about the fact that this motherfucker had nothing but space behind him to back away.
Yeah.
Clearly, she was not going to get you water. I don't know if he thought, like, maybe if I let her jerk me off, she'll give me some water.
No.
But regardless, Robert had plenty of, he had all the opportunity to not have this go down. And the look of guilt and shame on his face as he realizes that he cannot physically take a step back in that moment.
No, he cannot.
Dude, I'm loving this scene the more I fucking talk about it, dude. I actually can't wait to watch it in 1080p Blu-ray restored picture. I may have to fucking like see if I could screen grab it for you and be like, look, this is what it is in high def. It's even better.
If you get a high definition screen grab of just his face and her, I want her eye contact. Listen, I could take her eye contact and put it in my spank bank. I might be able to just save that shit for later.
In case you're ever on a desert island without a phone or any Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
A good Poulon stare may come in. That may come in handy. And I say handy, pun intended.
Damn right. Because like I said, in this particular scene, I even forgot that Robert was in a jungle full of cannibals.
Dude, there was no cannibals. There was no cannibals. It was just them and the jungle and nothing but time and space and love. Love, real love. The kind of love that a woman does when she looks at her man like he's a piece of shit and she fucking strokes him to climax while he's fucking trapped in a jungle cell, but not trapped enough to where he couldn't walk away if he didn't want it to happen.
And even when it's all said and done, even after that, Robert still lays the pipe down and mama would make daddy a sandwich, damn it.
Robert got a jungle sandwich.
Yeah, Robert got his little jungle sandwich. But hey, that's it for
again, if we keep recording, we're just gonna keep talking about that scene. And I don't think we could. I think we've already just dude, but I promise y'all, please, for the love of God, if you can watch for free, you can turn it off after that scene, but don't, because you got to watch the whole thing, because then the Cobra Venom comes back up.
Yeah, you got to see the Cobra Venom.
Yes.
You got to see Daddy getting his jungle sandwich made. You have to see it all. Like I said, if you get a chance to watch it, go watch it. And like I said, if we keep talking about it, me and John can go on and on about watching, a dude getting his dick jacked off by some girl giving him some awesome eye contact. Poulon, we're not worthy.
I promise you that the well has not dried on how much I can keep talking about this. So everybody, Jay, again, thank y'all so much. Make sure y'all check out the Cannibal Ferox episode that him and Joe put out last week. Make sure that you tune in for Cannibal Holocaust next week with him and Jamie, right? I got her name right? Jamie?
Yep.
Jamie. And then the week after that, I'm back, Joe's back, and Jamie's back. And of course, Jay. And all four of us are going to decide which three of these movies we're going to fuck, marry, or kill. And with that said, I'm John. He's Jay. He knows how to end the show. Thank y'all.
Hey, I appreciate you all following along. I appreciate you all listening. Go like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, all that other shit. That way you know when the shit show pops up. But we reached that time of the episode, people. I need you all to reach over and grab your drinks. I need you to gather up your shit, put your chairs away, and get the fuck out of here.